Welcome to the Teacher Zone with Chris and Tyler. You're in for another great podcast right now. And Chris, how are you, sir? What's our topic today?
I'm excellent. So great to be with you today, Mr. Tyler. Our topic today, we all love lists, right? So Tyler and I came up with the 7 things I wish I knew before we started our lesson business. And, let's face it, it might be 40 things, but these are the 7 that were like top of mind. One of the first things that not only that Tyler and I dealt with in our own lesson business, that's now going on, what, Tyler, 11 years.
Did we start year 12 or are we starting year 11? I think we started year 12. I can't remember.
We just had 11 as the year. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. And so what's great is that we've also obviously connected with so many of you globally over the years. And so I think these are things that resonate with all of us in the lesson business.
Right.
But please know that no list is definitive. So if you got other ideas, ping us on the private Facebook group or any way that you want to reach out to us. You can just feel free to email us too. You can just email hello@teacherzone.com. It goes to both of us. But all right, Tyler, well, let's get into it. So the 7 things I wish I knew before we started our lesson business.
Well, let's start with number 1. I wish I'd automated every payment that ever came in to my lesson business the very first day. And I don't know about you guys, but in the beginning, I don't know how long it took me to realize that I was constantly 4 to 5 business days behind on multiple people's tuitions. And then I was running to the bank with checks or whatever. And this was a while back. And I know a lot of people have come a long way. But the bottom line is, I don't care if you're using Venmo. If you're having to track them down and get them to do something without it being automated, that's what we're here to talk about on number 1, which is I wished every payment I ever accepted in my lesson business was automated. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that have younger businesses that still aren't automated, I think a lot of us do it because I think we're excited to just be getting paid at all.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Right? You would walk in and show Melissa our stack of checks because it was becoming a business. And I'm like, look at this. I'm going to go put it in, and 2 years later, I'm like, oh my gosh, can someone please go put these in?
Because you're getting gratification from the validation that comes in the payments. So when you're first starting a business, especially in the lesson business, because all of us are so proud of what we teach. And so you're helping change lives, you're helping mentor and teach, and you're so proud of it. And here you are getting paid to do what you love and to affect lives. And so the delay in it at first doesn't feel too scary, especially when it's just you and a couple others. But for those of you that are now, mature businesses and have a myriad of instructors and are really, crushing it with hundreds of families, enough's enough. This is that one thing that we all wish we would have changed at the beginning. But if you haven't changed yet, once you get past, it's literally a 30-day pain point. And then you'll never have to stress again. Like, I think now, Tyler, that everything's automated, basically we get most of our tuition. So folks do it all differently all over the world. Some do it per lesson. Some do, the monthly recurring. Some do it on the first, like we do. Like, we take all our tuitions on the first, so it allows us to make payroll and all that good stuff. We also, though, have a lot of friends around the world that do flat tuitions on the 25th of the month. And that's a really interesting thing, because now you can actually, for the few declines you have, you can get that money, and you're literally starting the first with next month's tuitions already in order.
Right.
So that might be something for even we've discussed changing our own method from the 1st to the 25th.
And we can't forget, Chris, the retention aspect of automated payments. So you have a family, Billy decides, Mom, I don't feel like it. I don't want to go today. Well, Mom's payment isn't already in your bank. So she's like, you know what? I'm done with your crap, Billy. Let's just not go. I agree.
Had enough,
it was
Billy.
Simple. Yeah, Billy, I've had enough. You don't practice. You Suck it, yoga. No, I'm just
You've
kidding.
not done the dishes.
So anyways, bottom line is now mom has the power. That young man might have just had a rough day and been fine once he got there. And if mom's money was already collected because of your cancellation policy or whatever, and it was already automated in, they're going to finish out the month. And who knows what'll happen. They came there to get something amazing to happen. And one simple life circumstances of laziness, reluctance, and regret, and it's over. So anyways, I know that sounded very dramatic, but really that's human nature sometimes, and automation prevents that as well. So everyone is proactive. It's not reactive. Everything is set. And guess what, Chris? I know you agree with me because you bring this up a lot. People are used to it.
Yeah, I mean, all my bills. Yeah. Do you have any? I'm trying to think if we have any. We do one of those. We support a child overseas kind of things. I know we do checks for that. Everything else.
No, everyone is used to it now. So, lesson businesses, whether you're doing group yoga classes, karate, jujitsu, or whatever, automation is key because human nature is flighty, and it takes work and change to get better.
You're not reminding them. So when you have to invoice someone, so listen, if you're in the lesson business, stop invoicing. The only time that invoicing should be a thing is if you are in the type of enterprise services where you're doing, you're invoicing 25 grand. Like if you're invoicing a massive amount from a large organization, then you need time for their accounting department to cut the check.
Sure. Right.
We get it. Invoicing's powerful for that type of model. For those of us that are doing this like $30 a class or whatever you're doing, come on.
Right.
Like automation is the way. It's easier on your customers, and you're not reminding them every month why they should quit.
So that's number one, guys. I think that was a good kickoff, Chris. So number two, what's number two?
I wish I knew how hard it was to keep track and reconcile lessons owed or makeups.
Did you just say makeups? Yeah.
The dreaded.
Nobody likes them. If you think
not even customers.
If you think your customers like them because they're running after you asking for them all the time, you need to reflect on that thought again. Mm-hmm. They hate them. All they are is an instance of remembering that something happened that they didn't get what they were supposed to get. And those expectations in a lot of businesses, that's just the way the businesses are designed, and everybody's supposed to expect that. And you know what? It's redundant. It wears you out. It's old. Everyone's busy. The customer's super busy. If you're a school that's thriving, your rosters, where are you going to put them? Where are they going to go?
It's a scheduling pretzel. And so a lot of you have actually done different things for this, right? So some of you actually give money back rather than give them a makeup, which that's one way to do it. Another of you have really great group offerings as a way to give them the class or lesson that they paid for. What we often suggest is being a little bit more bold and saying that, hey, you're paying for that moment, and we're going to give you instead a digital lesson that you can access after the moment.
Right.
But either way, regardless of how you do it, whether you're crediting them in sort of a package type situation or you're giving them an automated learning solution, you need a system. And by not having a system, we were pulling our hair out. And
by the way, Chris, may I? Yeah. If you're listening and you've got a very group-orientated business, such as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with 4 or 5 different levels, little kids and all that, even you guys do one-on-one or one-on-2 or one-on-3 private lessons sometimes. I know you do. That's how you can make a little extra bread and butter. And those are your kind of extraordinary students that are like, they're hungry. They want to learn this thing more, and they're getting their butts kicked and when they're rolling in jiu-jitsu or something. Those are the ones too. You guys deal with this as well. People are like, hey, I'm not feeling too great. And you blocked the time. You gave them that hour of your time. And then you're supposed to give them 1 more hour of your time later because it didn't work for them. And so I don't believe there's value in that. In fact, they should be paying me because they missed. No,
do you remember? This will date me, but yeah. But remember
Chris, I don't want our signals to get mixed up. I was a little bit of an embellishment there, but you get my picture. And when we talk at the same time in this format, sometimes it gets. I don't want people to take that too serious, but it is true. Those 2 hours for the price of one. That's not fair to your mentor.
Right, and it's not fair to basically. If you think about how overscheduled everyone is, like you said initially, no one's happy about it. So if you are going to do it, make it easy. Have systems in place. You know, we've built a system where we actually have it where customers can literally just handle their own makeups and reschedule them into open times that you dictate. Make it simple. Keep track of it. Have systems for it. So however you do it, just know that we understand that's a large pain point for a lot of you. And if we were all going to start over, we would either not do it, which we're not saying you have to. There's other ways to add value, or B, have an automated system for it. So it's not this pretzeling horror that you have to face. Tyler, you know the Tasmanian Devil? This will date me, but the cartoon. Remember that?
Yep. No, that's not the good. No, come on. The Tasmanian Devil sounds like this. Wow. That's the Tasmanian Devil.
That's makeups.
By the way, guys, reconciling, the word reconcile in this topic, keep track and reconcile makeup lessons. Let's back up. Let's not talk about the philosophy of makeups for a second. Just having a way to know what your parents are thinking. If you are not tracking it in a very easy and simple way, even if you are going to give them back, you're not going to sleep at night. If it's going to feel like your zipper's down or something's undone. And if it's sticky notes or a chalkboard or whatever that you're trying to keep all these, like, okay, we have a teacher at our lesson business that's leaving for 3 weeks to build something for this film job in Germany. Like, it's insane opportunity. He's our busiest teacher. It's like you guys out there having 50 students. 50 students times 3 weeks. That all of a sudden we need something that doesn't make us cry and go to the pillow, because that's just that one teacher leaving is an instance that's going to make our business admin either not like her job and leave or something. If enough stuff piles up, you guys, your operations team, not just you, because if you read our Chaos to Culture, you shouldn't be doing that stuff anyways. But let's say your person is. We've seen it before. People don't want to disappoint you, but your systems suck and they leave.
So that's great. To segue into the next one, but to finish this off, I love that example that you just gave. So what we're going to do as an example with that particular instructor is we bank the lessons in our system, and then the students just log into the apps and can reschedule into our dictated open times. So it's super simple. You know, just bottom line is, if we were going to all revisit this, we would simplify it and we would have systems. So make sure you do that, whether you're a new or an older business.
Chris, thank you for bringing that down a notch, because I got excited there for a second. And listeners,
your Tasmanian impression's the best thing I've ever heard. I need to start pulling more impressions out of you.
Can we, when we edit this, can we pull that out so it can be our ringtones for when we text each other? Yes. I think there's a way. We just got to connect our iPhones to our computers, and it will. Your son Dax can do it for us.
I'm bouncing that WAV file. That's great.
Yeah, okay.
So number 3. What's number 3, Taylor?
Number 3. We might have to make this episode a 2-parter, which is not a big deal. We've got a little bit of time left, so if we do cut off before the final 3 things, we can always make the next episode a part 2. So, but I'm having fun with this one. Number 3. I wish I had known how critical keeping and tracking attendance really was back then.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of folks that we talk to around the world, I would say nowadays it's gotten more common. Didn't used to be. I'd say nowadays, with all of those that we talk to you day in and day out, probably about, I think it's about half, probably, Tyler, that are really good about that. And I can tell you guys that It's one of the most irresponsible things you can possibly do as a lesson business owner. If you're teaching something and you're not verifying whether or not you've got butts in the seat or eyeballs on the lesson or however you want to define it, if you're not somehow dictating whether or not that class was taught, it's seriously irresponsible. And I just don't know another way to say it.
If you're a technician and owner this is going to apply to you eventually. Do you want to grow? Well, at some point you may be the one, well, hey, that doesn't apply to me. I'm teaching the class. I know when it's happening. Yeah, in 5 years, you might not be teaching the class. You might be over yoga at that point. I know it's a lifetime thing, but maybe you want to just take a class or go to a different studio and have your people. This is the big picture. So for you,
in leadership
for you right now, this is the perfect time to build a system around it because it is just you. It's the easiest time you could do it.
Well, and a lot of you are, you don't want to bother the teacher. So let me just explain how easy it is to actually track attendance. Sure. So number one, there's systems like ours where the students can actually just check themselves in when they arrive. And then the teachers can simply look and say, okay, there's only, I see 2 names here. John Smith, you didn't check it. Are you here? Okay, you are. So you can sort of take role on that and also have the students help with checking themselves in the apps. Also, we found, Tyler, tell them what we found with regard to teachers' cancellation versus their students' cancellation.
Well, inside teacherzone.com, there is a whole bunch of fun reports to drill down with. But when you go into the retention report or the attendance report and search it by either a whole roster or let's figure out what's going on. Why is this parent upset that this gal is not performing in the same amount of productions as her friend who started at the same time? Why is it okay, cool. You know what? Let's find out. We pull it up. It says exactly in Teacher Zone how many lessons she's missed. But here's what Chris is talking about. So in that case, you can say, hey, she's only made 47% of her lessons. Maybe we can help you guys find a better private lesson time so that she can get more out of our program. So that's a great tool. That's an obvious tool. It will even tell you when she's under 70% and give you a red flag. Like it does all this wonderful thing. But here's the thing we've noticed. A teacher that has a lot of teacher cancels, their student almost has a mirror amount of student cancels because they're actually behaving like each other because that student is looking up to them. So this isn't just a student retention report. This is a teacher's behavior report as well in regards to how often, because guys, bottom line, all you're remembering is that so-and-so missed a few, but remember so-and-so's worked for you for 2 years. Well, wouldn't it be great to look at the whole 2 years or 1 year? You will see exactly, and it doesn't lie. The metrics are there. And that tool, it's not a micromanaging tool. It's a my business needs to be healthy tool. That's right. All it is. It's a coaching tool. It doesn't mean you pull it up and go in and hit Chris on the head with it. You know, that's not what you do. That's not what this is for. We still want people to enjoy teaching their arts and all that. This is so that the big mission can still be clear and life-changing. That's what this is about.
Well, and your instructors, to your point, care. And what we found is as soon as we brought it to, so we saw with our own instructors, we only had about 3 of our 13 instructors that were, basically training their students this way. Now, we have seen this same thing repeat itself literally across the globe in every learning business. It's crazy how much the student and teacher cancellation numbers match. Like Tyler said, your instructors are actually mentoring your students on how to behave. And so their flakiness actually embeds in the student's own behavior. Now, once we brought it to the attention of our personal instructors, Tyler and I's, they changed.
Yep. We brought it out. It was a memo in Basecamp, I think, or something like that, where we just kind of very Gestalt manner said it overall encompassing. Hey, this is what we found. Isn't that weird? And we didn't name any names. And we didn't even check for another quarter. So I can say safely within 90 days, we did the report again and it was gone. It was like we were like at 85% plus. It was unreal.
Yeah, and a couple other really cool benefits of tracking attendance. Number one, like I can go pull up, for instance, my own kids, because we've been tracking attendance at our organization, for so many years. I can actually pull up one of my oldest is getting ready to graduate, and Tyler and I, it's going to be so fun, Tyler, to pull that report and see how many lessons and hours he's had at our program. As a parent, to be able to get that summary of like, wow, that's a lot of learning. That's a lot of moments. That is so cool. And so what's so neat about having that data is you can do things with the data. The other thing is our daily view. A lot of our customers will actually watch attendance throughout the day as it's coming in for classes and things. And it really lets them know, number one, for security purposes as well, who's in the building. And then lastly, we have sort of our no-show Amber Alert, if you will, that you can turn on. And Tyler, tell about that one, and then we'll move to item number 4.
So when you have an organization where you have souls coming in, and some of them are young people, not everybody that's listening right now has young people. Some are all adults. So this more applies for that. If in fact there is a no-show and that young person didn't show up at all, or an adult, because the adults take attendance the same way. But the point being is we have a job, and especially when there's young people in the room, if we're not on paper mandate reporters looking out for these people, like our organization's an accredited supplemental learning school for what we do. And so there's things that go along. Every teacher automatically becomes and is trained that if they see something, they may have to report something. Well, a lot of lesson businesses don't even want to go there or think about that. They'll send an email out and the lesson coordinator will say, hey, we missed you today. And that's about it. And then who knows what really happened. Well, that's not great for retention. People are disappearing on you. That's not good. So what we've done at Teacher Zone, if you hit no show, it is an Amber Alert. It fires off right away and texts and emails the parents and the administrators instantly as soon as the teacher hits no show. So if Johnny got a new car and a new girlfriend and went to the beach instead of his guitar lesson, everyone knows right away and you are covered. And so is that child, if you think about it. What if something bad is about to happen? You've now instantly, almost automatically alerted everybody and you're good. And if you want to make sure it went out, go into the communication log in Teacher Zone. Everything that ever gets sent out via email or SMS ever is in the communication log. And you can go see, nope, it went there. Yep, his practice is assigned. Yep, and there's the no-show alert. It's all there. So from a legal perspective, I am not an attorney. I am the Tasmanian Devil. From a legal perspective, you are not negligent. And that, to me, is very important to run a tight ship that people can have huge trust points with.
Well, building a great,
know what's happening.
Building a great culture is all about optics. And I'll tell you, so many of our families, especially on Saturdays when we have large group classes, I can't tell you how many parents, because the teacher will mark someone no-show because they didn't let us know. And I can't tell you how many parents immediately, because the no-show will text them, they're like, oh, and they immediately reach back. And so it's sort of a culture building tool as well to let them know you care. And you're just like, and I think we customized ours to be like, hey, is everything okay? Are you all right? Like, so they're like, no, everything's fine.
Well, what's really funny is when people are using it as a tool to find their virtual students. So our software allows kids to hit a little green camera and appear in the teacher's meeting room with a touch of a button, and they don't have to get a mom's email and find a link or anything. So this pandemic stuff has caused families to be at home and they'll go do things. A lot of families kind of took liberties and like, well, school's done. It's noon. Where do you want? Let's go. They go to the park. Well, that's when these lessons were starting to be missed. Oh, we totally forgot it was today. Well, teachers, like 2 minutes in, they were just hitting no show instead of the chat. And it was sending that your child no-show text alert. And
wait, no.
In a couple minutes, guess what? No reschedule.
Right.
They freaking booked it. It was their fault. They don't have to try to have the to ask you for a reschedule. even though it was their fault. Like, come on. This is those friction points we're trying to get rid of for you guys. So that's just another way to look at it as well, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line on this item is tracking attendance is paramount. If you're not, then don't let it go past this podcast episode. Start tomorrow. So Tyler,
what?
I think I agree with you. I think the next 4 are meaty enough that we should go ahead and say to be continued to the next episode.
Okay, wait, hold on. We need to vote on this. Number 4, I wish. Number 5, I wish I knew something. Yep. Mm-hmm. Number 6, I wish I had prioritized engagement, safety, transparent. Do you want to do one more?
My concern is the next one is gonna be pretty meaty and interesting to a lot of folks. So I think we save that for the next episode. We'll start with it.
Well, now I can't say I don't think that because you just said that. Yeah. And then it'll sound really like there's conflict.
Well, yeah, go ahead and tune into the next episode and we'll just start there.
Yeah. Or maybe we won't. Maybe we won't even tell you. You'll have to find out. Maybe we're going to skip to something completely irrelevant, like Minecraft or something.
Well, and for those of you that already downloaded the white paper, you already know what we're talking about. But
By the way, if you're getting this podcast for some weird reason in your inbox from a friend or whatever, please go to teacherzone.com/chaos and get our free ebook. And it's the 5 stages of growth, how you grow through them from chaos to culture. So go grab that if you don't know what's going on, and you'll get in tune with us really quick. So Chris, I guess we will. Let's go for next week, and we'll see what cartoon characters arrive and all sorts of stuff. And we will finish our 7 things I wish I knew before we started our lesson business. So everybody out there in Teacher Zone land, thank you for tuning in. Chris, thanks for being here, and we will see you in the next episode. Sayonara.